Every great project starts with an idea. They're brought to life by our excellent researchers, entrepreneurs and citizens.
Together, we will transform these ideas into new solutions to recover from the global pandemic and ensure a green, digital, healthy and fair future for everyone.
With a budget of over 95 billion euros, Horizon Europe, the new European Research and Innovation Programme, will boost Europe's scientific global leadership, excellent science and breakthrough innovation. Address the societal challenges that matter most to you through our EU missions. Expand international cooperation to team up the best talent across Europe and beyond. And form new partnerships between research, innovation and industry to bring solutions directly to you.
Tens of thousands of you have already shared your views and ideas, making Horizon Europe our most ambitious European program ever. Europe is full of innovative ideas. Let's use them to build a green, digital and healthy future for everyone.
Distinguished guests, researchers, scientists, innovators, a very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us for the Horizon Europe Launch Event 2021 ASEAN. My name is Susanna Renzo-Vasu, and together with my wonderful colleague Jenny Elmako, who you probably should be seeing now, we are the project coordinators of the Euraxis Worldwide Network here in ASEAN. It is my pleasure to be the moderator for you today, and Jenny will be leading the sessions tomorrow. Very importantly, we are supported by a group of students from Silliman University, the Renaissance Young Leaders Forum, who are offering IT support. So thank you so much, guys, for your work behind the scenes. Now, this event today is dedicated to you, our researchers, innovators, scientists, and we as Euraxis want to support you in forging research partnerships across our two regions, Europe and Southeast Asia. We have over 600 people from 47 countries in the platform joining us over the course of the next 3 days to discover just some of the many opportunities for interregional and international research collaboration in the framework of the EU's Research and Innovation Programme, Horizon Europe. Starting today at 5 minutes past 10, and this is always Central European time, we will hear from our colleagues at the European Commission on selected funding opportunities for collaborative research efforts. Each of the 3 event days, as you know, will focus on specific thematic areas, and today's spotlight is on Cluster 4 of Horizon Europe with the thematic focus on digital industry and space. We have 3 expert speakers lined up for you. From the Commission, they will zoom in on selected opportunities, but please to remind you, we're presenting just a snapshot of the many opportunities that are available in the work programs. If you would like to ask a question at any point in time, please do make use of the chat box that you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. If you use the events chat box, you can type your questions there and we will relay them to the presenters. And we know that a lot of you are joining us today via our Facebook live stream. Now you can also send us your questions. Please type your questions in the comments section on Facebook, and we once again will relay them to the presenters and make sure that you will get an answer. We're also very happy to have with us today our Euraxis resident funding consultant. His name is Mikel Imaldi Abasolo, and he is available throughout the course of the next 3 days in the exhibition area, and he will be able to give you answers on some of the specific questions that you may have related to the calls that are being presented in this program. Now, if you look at the left-hand side of your screen, you will find an icon that is called Exhibition. And Mikel will be available there today on the 20th of July between 10:45 and 12:30. Again, this is European time. So between 10:45 and 12:30, if you go to Exhibition, his booth is marked as Ask an Expert. You will be able to ask Mikel any of the detailed questions that you may have on the core modalities. We have also invited speakers from current EU-funded projects who will share with us some of their success stories that result from the research collaboration between researchers and innovators in Europe and here in Southeast Asia. Today, we're zooming in on a very successful collaboration called YAKSHA, Cybersecurity Awareness and Knowledge Systemic High-Level Application. This project was funded under the predecessor of Horizon Europe called Horizon 2020, and we will hear from some of the colleagues on the project on what they achieved and why the collaboration between our two regions is so important. Now, most importantly, we have chosen this platform in the times of COVID-related restrictions to give you a maximum opportunity to connect with each other. We want to allow you to get to know each other, to expand your professional network, and most importantly, to identify collaborators for joint applications to the opportunities that we will be presenting. On each event day, we have scheduled dedicated networking sessions as part of the agenda of each event day. Again, if you look at the left-hand side of your screen, for everybody who is inside the Hopin platform right now, you will find an icon called networking. And today the networking session will open at 11:30 Europe time. And then you will have the opportunity within 60 minutes to meet other participants in a personal one-to-one meeting where you can exchange ideas. You can, of course, exchange contact details. There's an icon which says exchange details. So at the end of the event, we hope that you will have expanded your network and you will have identified collaborators for a joint application to some of the opportunities that we are presenting today. Now, before we start our program today, I hope you allow me to quickly introduce you to the Euraxis Worldwide project. I think it is a very important project. It is a comprehensive support tool for scientists, for researchers, innovators, practitioners who wish to seek closer collaboration with their peers across the European research area. And if I can ask my colleagues to please share my presentation on screen, that I can just share with you why this is such an important tool for you. Euraxis Worldwide is a global network. It is part of the Euraxis strategy based in Europe to eradicate barriers for researchers and innovators to work with each other. What we are creating in Europe is a joint market where ideas, people, infrastructure can be shared, can move around freely. For you as researchers based outside of Europe, this is your access point to the European research area. Euraxis provides you, first of all, a lot of information, anything related to the European research area. Who are the key players? Where are the funding agencies? What are the thematic topics? What is the relevant policy if you want to engage with your research peers. It also, of course, provides a lot of opportunities, funding opportunities, career opportunities. What makes this, I think, extremely important as a tool is that it is not just a website full of information, but it is a growing global network of people like yourselves that are using this platform to reach out to each other, to create partnerships, to exchange knowledge, to come up with innovative ideas, to join challenges. Euraxis also provides a lot of support, and if we maybe go to the next slide of the presentation now, it is, as I already said, it is backed by the European Union and its member states. If you click on, please, you will see it provides free information and support. And if you click on, please, it connects you with your research peers across the globe, not just in Europe, but via the Euraxis worldwide network in the partner countries of the European research area across the globe. So it's a fabulous opportunity for you, not just to find out where the opportunities are in Europe, but to reach out to potential collaborators in Europe and elsewhere. Next slide, please. Euraxis Worldwide is present in Southeast Asia. My colleague Jenny, you've already seen just briefly, myself, we're both based in Southeast Asia and we are your support team. I'm saying that here because we want to hear from you after this event. We want to continue guiding you after this event to ensure that the information that you're receiving today will allow you to successfully apply for EU funding. We offer a lot of opportunities for the research community here in Southeast Asia. We have information days. We offer career development training targeted mainly at early stage researchers. Excuse me. We're very much focused on supporting talent circulation, the exchange of knowledge and people between our two regions, and we're finally always available for you if you click on the final slide of my presentation for you to get in touch with us if you require assistance. As you can see, this is Jenny and myself, and here Euraxis, our email address, asean@euraxis.net. Please do get in touch with us for any support that you might require. Thank you so much, and there's no need for the presentation anymore. Now, it is time for us to start the event, and it is my very great honor to introduce you to our first distinguished speaker this morning, who will share his welcome message with all of us. Please allow me to introduce you to the EU Ambassador to ASEAN, His Excellency Igor Driesmans.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, friends from Europe and ASEAN, it's my pleasure to virtually open the first day of the Horizon Europe launch event. First, I wish to thank Euraxis ASEAN, as well as the team of the EU DG for Research and Innovation and the ASEAN Secretariat for the organization of this timely webinar. COVID-19 has learned us that international cooperation in the field of research is more crucial than ever. This is why it's of paramount importance to present the unique opportunities offered by Horizon Europe to all of you in ASEAN. You are hundreds with us today, proving once again the enormous interest of researchers in working together. The energy of the global research community has always been there, even at the height of the COVID-19 outbreak. Today, we need to invest in research and innovation to support our society's recovery. In December 2020, the EU has adopted a new bold research framework program for 2021 to 2027 called Horizon Europe. Its overall budget of 95 billion euros, an increase of 30% from the previous one, makes it the most ambitious research and innovation program in the world. Horizon Europe aims to deliver on strategic priorities, such as the recovery green and digital transitions, and tackling global challenges to improve the quality of our daily lives. It also strengthens excellent EU science and technology by investing more in highly skilled people and cutting-edge research. And it fosters industrial competitiveness and its innovation performance, notably supporting market-creating innovation. This increased level of ambition requires new policies. A key novelty in relation to international cooperation is a new geopolitical approach. Horizon Europe opens the possibility of association to any country in the world with a good research and innovation capacity and fulfilling a set of criteria related to democracy and open market economy. And it allows researchers from all over the planet to be part of international consortia and bid to its calls for proposals, in line, of course, with the dedicated calls questions. Multilateral and international cooperation are key in COVID-19 times. No country, no region can tackle global challenges alone. But this is a principle that the research community has always known. This is why at the real beginning of the crisis, when all of us were looking for a solution, researchers were the first ones to get organized and to find tangible ways to work together. Researchers have shown their belief in open science and innovation by sharing results and exchanging ideas in international fora. And multilateralism and cooperation are also at the basis of the 44 years of ASEAN-EU dialogue partnership, together with common values such as rules-based international order, sustainability, free and fair trade. This is why the EU and ASEAN are ideal partners also when it comes to research cooperation. In the next hours and days, you will hear more about the first calls launched under Horizon Europe. You will also have the possibility to virtually mingle and meet other researchers that could be one day your partners in a project. I am sure that you will all benefit from the tremendous opportunities that the program offers. Research cooperation mobility at international level are key to address the challenges of our time, from climate change to digitalization and recovery post-COVID-19. To build back better, we need our research communities to work together. So thanks again for the excellent speakers and all of the participants from the EU and ASEAN for their commitment to research. I wish you all a very fruitful and inspiring discussion. Thank you very much.
Apologies, I was muted for a second there. Again, our sincere thanks to Ambassador Driesmans in Jakarta. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to our second distinguished speaker, who will be sharing his welcome message this morning. His Excellency Satvinder Singh, Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN for the ASEAN Economic Community.
A very good afternoon to all our friends in ASEAN, and a very good morning to all of you in Europe. Your Excellency Ambassador Driesmans, Director General Driesmans for the Global Approach and International Partnerships of the European Commission, Minister Councillor Siditek of the Royal Thai Embassy in Brussels, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first express my sincere appreciation to the organizers, Eurisex Asia ASEAN, and also the deep support of the European Commission for coming together in hosting this very important virtual launch event. It's truly my honor to speak today at this momentous launch of the Horizon Europe in ASEAN, which is, of course, EU's framework program for research, science, and innovation. It's also wonderful how we are launching Horizon Europe in ASEAN in the company of so many of you excellencies, distinguished speakers, esteemed representatives from various universities, research institutions, industry members and leaders, NGOs, again, spanning across both public and private sectors, both in the ASEAN and in Europe. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the anchor for Horizon Europe in ASEAN is definitely the virtual matchmaking that truly brings together the institutional research actors in both Europe and ASEAN to seek and to facilitate mutually beneficial research partnerships between our two regions. The thematic focus are, first, I'm told, on health, which again covers AI and health, infectious diseases, health and climate change. Second, it also thematically will cover civil security for society. Again, is a very broad area that covers mainly disaster management and pandemic preparedness. Third, we are going to be covering digital, which again will cover 4IR industry and of course space. And next, we're also going to cover fourthly into circular economy and climate, which again includes the green technology and of course transportation. Now, what you can see from all of these areas, that these are the critical areas to ASEAN, and definitely all of these thematic areas are representing the defining development challenges in the region. The future of the region, of the ASEAN region, definitely will depend on how effectively we marshal our collective knowledge, our expertise and our resources to manage and deal with all of these challenges moving forward. Honestly, we are all in it together, and I'm sure all of us are glad to be part of this fantastic initiative that truly is going to provide an avenue for us to foster closer collaboration and synergy amongst our various stakeholders from both our regions. And hopefully, it also creates an innovative and sustainable solutions to these issues. I would also like to celebrate the fact that the objectives of this matchmaking event are also nicely aligned with the ASEAN Plan of Action on Science, Technology and Innovation. In short, we call it a PASTI. Particularly, I must say the trust one, which is to strengthen strategic collaboration among academia, research institutions, and networks of centers of excellence, and critically, the private sectors, to all possibly come together and create an effective ecosystem for capability development, for transfer of technology, and of course, most importantly, for commercialization. In that light, I must say, in the good news is that, we have had some very good examples of solid collaboration between the EU and our science and tech fraternity in the ASEAN that's already started on some of the topic areas that I had earlier highlighted. Let me first share. First of all, I can think of how we have initiated for the capacity development for diagnostic products to address unmet clinical needs, which has been made possible with the ASEAN Diagnostic Development Initiatives. Another good example is the proposal for the converging towards the development of an ASEAN platform on science, technology, and innovation for disaster and climate resilience. I can think of also another initiative which I had a very deep pleasure of being involved recently with Ambassador Dreisman's last week, which was the Shared ASEAN High Performance Computing Facility Initiative, which was established, as you all know, to provide the ASEAN member states with access to regional infrastructure to high performance computing. The support from the EU to this initiative under the Enhanced Regional EU-ASEAN Dialogue Instrument, eReady, was to organize this virtual high-performance computing school earlier this month. And I was personally glad to see more than 60 students from all over ASEAN being given the chance and being selected to learn about the fundamentals of high-performance computing systems design and applications to address some critical domains such as COVID-19, even issues on urgent computing and climate science, from experts not only from Europe, but also experts from Japan and also some parts of ASEAN. What I can say is that we all in the ASEAN, we all are truly very appreciative, and we truly value this high value support that's coming from EU. And we truly hope that such future cooperations between ASEAN and EU will accelerate the transformation towards the science, technology, and innovation-enabled ASEAN. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what I can say is that it's almost now 1.5 years since the start of the pandemic, and the countries worldwide, including ASEAN and EU, we are all still trying to recover. This is an extraordinary time, and we believe that cooperation and collective efforts to recover together from the pandemic is extremely crucial. Now, in response to the pandemic, the ASEAN as a region, we have adopted the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. We call it the ACRF in short. And in its implementation plan, what it is basically an ongoing living document, which kind of serves as our ASEAN whole of community exit strategy plan from the pandemic. Now, with most of the initiatives ongoing, or some of them are partially completed, the effective implementation of the ACRF plan is critical in ensuring ASEAN's long-term resilience and sustainability. In fact, the Horizon Europe and all the topics areas I've mentioned above, they all are kind of in line with the ACRF. And it's my hope that at the end of this event, we are going to see truly some high quality joint collaboration coming together to support initiatives for the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, which will definitely help both ASEAN and EU together to accelerate the recovery from the pandemic. I encourage all of you to take advantage of this very special opportunity. There's this special relationship between our two regions. Please take advantage of this meaningful exchange of ideas, these purposeful solutions that are going to be brought forward to you. And hopefully we can harness our joint networks and ultimately drive change for the ASEAN and the EU region. Now, expanding your professional networks is, again, a very small yet important first step towards creating this lasting collaboration and partnerships that are going to enable innovation to drive really improvements in our respective regions. I will also dare both the scientific and also the research fraternities, including the private sectors and the entrepreneurs, all of you to be bold and brave. Again, I would like to wish every one of you a very bold, wonderful start to our collaboration research. Thank you.
Now, a very warm thank you, of course, also to Ambassador Singh at the ASEAN Secretariat in Indonesia. And I think both of our distinguished speakers this morning have really summarized it very well. There are challenges that are facing the world, not just Europe and ASEAN, but the entire world. I think we've just seen it, of course, with the pandemic that we're all still struggling with. In Germany, where I am based right now, we've just seen how climate change is very tremendously affecting people's life. And as we've heard from both speakers, the opportunity is for us to pool our knowledge, to pool our resources, to bring ideas together, to find sustainable solutions to these common challenges. Europe has always adopted a policy of international collaboration. Open to the world has been and remains the tagline of Europe when it comes to collaboration in research and innovation. Of course, with the new funding program, the Commission has further fine-tuned how it's collaborating with the world in research and innovation, with an emphasis on this approach on being open and reciprocal. Now, international research collaboration between the two regions is at the heart of the JFS program. And for those of you that have not heard yet, JFS stands for Southeast Asia Europe Joint Funding Scheme for Research and Innovation. This is an instrument for the funding of bi-regional multilateral research and innovation projects, a wonderful opportunity for researchers from different parts of Europe and Southeast Asia to work together. We're very pleased that we have with us a representative of this program this morning to introduce us to the scheme and also to the opportunity to apply for funding, which is currently open. Our next speaker is Mr. Tan Vui Bu, and Bu, the floor is yours now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Suzanne. Let me share the screen. Okay, I hope you can see my presentation now. Thank you again, Suzanne, for inviting us and for the opportunity to present the joint funding scheme. I'm very glad to introduce this program to you. Um, Let me talk about what the Southeast Asian Europe Joint Funding Scheme is. The JFS started in 2017 and implements joint calls for proposals on an annual basis. The funding, um, the program is funding research and innovative projects and involves national and local funding agencies from Southeast Asia and Europe. It was initiated by the European Commission and is funded, and the funding of coordination is also done by the European Commission. The topics of the calls are jointly selected by the funding funders. So far, the JFS funded 42 research projects out of 178 submitted proposals and committed 30 million euros to the pot and involved in total 18 countries from Southeast Asia and Europe. And until now, 14 million euros was funded. The subjects, the topics have a wide range from infectious diseases to antimicrobial resistance, to digital health and smart cities, to climate change and bioeconomy. So the joint funding scheme tries to cover every thematic area. This year, in 2021, we launched the 7th call for proposal with the thematic areas of sustainable food production and climate change, especially in resilience and adaptation. So for this year, we are still seeking for proposals from Southeast Asia and Europe in these two topics. The call was launched in 15th of June, and the application is open until October 15. We link Southeast Asian and European researchers, and for this we have a partnering tool on our website where you can registrate and connect with other researchers from Southeast Asia and Europe. We plan to have many other events, and the next event, which is coming soon, is the lab exploration tours, which you also can apply for. And we also plan to have other dissemination and matchmaking events. In the 7th joint call now, we have 19 funding agencies from 16 countries in Europe and Southeast Asia. And actually, we are still looking for funding agencies. So it is still possible for interested funding agencies from Europe and Southeast Asia who wants to participate in the JFS. Just check our website, www Southeast Asia Europe Joint Funding Scheme.eu, and you can see all information. Now let me talk about the basic parameters of a joint funding scheme. First of all is the funding. We have a virtual common pot, and we follow the policy of no money is crossing borders. So that means that the national funding agencies are only funding the researchers from their country. For example, Fundingji from Thailand only can fund Thai researchers. But we have a special arrangement for Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar. It is possible for funding agencies from other countries to fund researchers from these countries. For example, we have in the past Germany and Switzerland funded researchers from Cambodia and Myanmar. So this is possible for these researchers. And it is important to follow the national regulations besides the rules from the joint funding scheme. It is important if you want to apply for the JFS to study the national regulations from your country. Otherwise, if you not conform with these regulations from your country, you might be ineligible. Another important point is the project consortium. The JFS is following the 2+1 rule. That means 2 countries from both regions plus 1 country. The joint funding scheme, the JFS wants to strengthen the bioregional and multiple cooperation in research. So it is necessary if you want to apply for our program to have a consortium of at least 3 partners, and all partners must be from Southeast Asia and Europe. For example, 2 countries from Southeast Asia are looking for 1 European country, or 2 partners from Europe must look for a partner from Southeast Asia. This is the 2+1 rule. This is really important because this is a significant eligibility aspect for the JFS. Additional partners are allowed and must not be following the rule. So if you have your consortium, your minimal consortium of 2+1, it is up to your choice where the other partners comes from. But it might be the further partner must bring its own funding. And another important aspect is in that consortium, the coordinator must be eligible for funding. We have the rule now that in these 3 partners, 1 from Southeast Asia and 1 from Europe must be eligible for fundings, and 1 of them must be the coordinator. But the 3rd partner is not necessary to be eligible for funding and can bring his own fundings. So we want you to stay tuned and follow us on Facebook and Twitter so you can get further information about our program and upcoming events. And we are soon launching our JFS video tutorial. In this video tutorial, it is described how to apply and how everything will work for you. And we also plan to launch further JFS calls next year. So stay tuned with us on Facebook and Twitter, and I hope you can visit us, and I hope to receive your application soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wu, for introducing our audience today to this fabulous opportunity. So as we've heard, the Joint Funding Scheme, an opportunity for multilateral inter-regional research collaboration. There is a call currently open for application into thematic areas that I think fit in very nicely with our program today, one focusing on food security, the other one on climate change. We do have a couple of questions. Maybe, Wu, we can pose them to you. You've already explained to us that the principle of the funding scheme is on no funding crosses national borders. So there are funding agencies from the various countries that are participating in the scheme. We have a question here from Mohammed Talib Latif, who is wondering, he is a researcher based in Malaysia, but I assume not at either UPM or and he's wondering whether he can also benefit from the scheme, even though he is based at a different institution in Malaysia. What is your advice here?
Oh, yes. Hello. Yes, my advice is it is possible for Malaysian researchers to apply, although their institution is not participating, but the participating funding agencies from Malaysia are willing to fund researchers from external institutions. So it is possible, and I would advise you just to form your consortium and to apply for the program. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Wu. And I would advise everybody who's joining to just really look at the website, and you will find a list of the past projects that were funded under previous calls. And there is really some fabulous work that has been done. So I can really encourage everybody to use that resource also to maybe identify collaborators for your Horizon Europe ideas amongst this network of researchers. As Wu has already said, they are starting a different program very shortly called Meet the Lab, I think. It's an opportunity for researchers to introduce their lab. Do you have a rough timeline when this is going to start?
Yes, our Meet My Lab, we plan it to do it in August, but we are still in the process of planning and talking to others. But we will soon publish the information on our website. Yes.
Thank you so much, Wu. And if I can just also mention that we had a dedicated webinar with Wu's colleague just a few weeks ago. You can find a recording of that webinar, which entails detailed information on how to apply for the current GFS call on the Euraxis ASEAN YouTube channel. Now, Wu, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are now turning to the next part of our program. Now, we've chosen Hopin to make this as interactive as possible. We are currently, as you know, in the so-called stage, and we will all be moving to a different part of our virtual conference today. If you look on the left-hand side, please don't click anything right now, just stay tuned. If you look at the left-hand side of your screen, you will see an icon called Sessions. And once I've completed my introduction, we will all move over to the sessions. And in the sessions, you should be opting for cluster 4, because this is the thematic focus of our first day today. We will continue our program over there in a few minutes, but I just already want to introduce you to the speakers that are waiting for us over there. We will have with us Nicholas Dilianakis, who is the Deputy Head of Unit Industrial Technology Strategies at Director General, or DG, for Research and Innovation at the European Commission. He will give us an overview of Cluster 4. As I said at the beginning earlier today, we're only giving you a snapshot of a much wider list of opportunities. So Nicholas will kindly present an overview to us what the Commission is trying to achieve with the funding dedicated to this particular thematic area. We will then have colleagues from SPI in Portugal who are introducing to us the Yaksha project that our earlier speaker, Ms. Boesman, was talking about. And then we will go into the presentation of the selected calls, where Nicolas again will give us detailed information with two of his colleagues, Dominique Blanchon, she is Senior Program Officer, also at the Director General for Research and Innovation of the European Commission, and their colleague, Dr. Astrid Christina Koch. She is in charge of the Copernicus project, Earth observation at the Directorate General for Defense, Industry and Space at the European Commission. So we have a fabulous program lined up. We will be starting at 10:05. You all have the opportunity now to move over to the sessions, and please choose the cluster 4. So we'll see you in just a few minutes over in sessions for the cluster 4. See you in a minute.